What's up, y'all? This is Jesse Boats, aka J-Bone, and we're here. We're here to do another rookie course walkthrough for the new upcoming tournament. We are getting ready to play the New York Classic Tournament, and it will take place on the old Christmas course, which has been renamed the City Park course. It's basically the same exact thing, except they've taken away the snow, and they've made it really green looking and added some City Park sounds to it. So really cool. Going to start Monday. Qualifying will start on Monday and go through Wednesday. 3 different chances to qualify. If you don't make it one of those first 2 days, you'll have a 3rd chance on Wednesday, and then after that you're out of luck. If you qualify, your opening round will start on Thursday. Last Thursday and Friday, you have 2 days to finish that. If you finish in the top 50 there, then you move on to the weekend round, which is Saturday and Sunday. And hopefully from there you can get like a top 10. At least that's where you have the special banners, is in the top 10 places. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started with our video. Just want to make sure that you all are aware of a community page on Facebook called the 19th Hole. If you haven't been there yet, make sure to check us out. It's a great place for newer and older players alike. We are a community that strives to be there to help one another, especially newer players in the game. So if you are new to the game and you have questions, please come and join us, and feel free to ask those questions. We have many members that are there and willing and ready to help you and answer your questions. And also make sure to check out the rest of my YouTube site. If you haven't done so yet, I do post videos of each specific hole with commentary and visual guide as well during the videos. And also I do have a live stream usually during the tournament week and weekend, where I do live stream my rookie and then my pro accounts. So we will be doing that again this tournament, and if you haven't done so, check me out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into our first hole here. And these, for some people, are not new holes, but they will look different because they have revamped the holes. And for some people, this is a completely new course, because this course has not been available to play in any of the tours. This was a course they specifically made for Christmas tournament, and then they took it and stowed it away wherever they put those courses away that they don't use. And now they're just now bringing it back out, revamped, to look like a springtime city park. So some people have played these holes, but some people won't. So some people will have quite an advantage, especially seeing as this course is only playable on tour 6 and 11. So if you don't have a whole lot of cash to spend in gems and gold, then you might not get as much practice time as you would want. So watching videos like this, or like my hole guides, is going to be your best chance to kind of figure out what you want to do on the course. And there will be a lot of people practicing on Monday and qualifying. So if you're not sure if you can qualify, Monday might be a really good day to qualify, because there will be a lot of people practicing, and you will have a good chance to qualify on that day. So here we go. We're going to start here, hole number 1. We're starting out with a good old par 3. And this is definitely a tough par 3. Lots of different ways you can tackle this hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw circles on the different landing zones. Okay? All of those spots are places I've seen people play this hole by. You can land it in any of those spots and have a chance to get to the hole. I think the spot right here and the spot right there are your 2 best chances at getting the hole-in-one, especially the right one over here. This one right here on the far right side right here is probably your best chance at the hole-in-one. And if you're going to play that one, you do want to play with a club where you have a lot of backspin, probably at least 5 or 6 bars of backspin, and you do want to use a left spin as well. So you will need to use a special ball probably to attempt that shot. And basically what you do is you run the ball up that ridge and you let it fall down the ridge to the hole. Definitely a very good shot to take to try to get the ace. because there is a pretty good slope right over here on this side of the hole. So if you can use that slope correctly, you can funnel your ball back down to the hole to get the ace there. Alright, so we're going to move on to our next shot here. The middle shot right here. You're going to use that shot if you have a club with a lot of backspin, and what you want to do is you want to bounce right in that area, and you want your second bounce to be almost right at the hole or close to the front of the hole. The object is to hit your shot, hit it right in front of the hole with backspin to stop it and spin it into the hole. The shot right over here is another shot you can take. You're going to be using at least 4 backspin on that shot, and you do want to kind of aim your shot to the right side of the hole on that one because of the bounce off the green. We'll kind of bounce it to the left on the initial bounce, so that's why you start out by aiming it to the right side of the hole to compensate for that bounce on the green. And another shot you can take that you don't see a whole lot of people talk about is this one right here. You can take that shot right there with some backspin and right spin. You will need a ball with a good amount of right spin to take that shot. So if you want to use a ball like a Quasar or a Navigator or a Marlin, something without a total, like a large amount of side spin, you probably want to go for that middle shot. But you do need to have a club with a good amount of backspin, like the Saturn, or a better, maybe an upper level backbone, something like that. You can play that left shot with a ball that has a good amount of right spin. You can play the ace shot over here with a ball that has a good amount of side spin and backspin. So this is definitely a tough hole for those of you who do not have really leveled up clubs or really good balls. It just might be one of those holes you need to practice and figure out which way works best for you. Getting a birdie on this hole is definitely a good thing. I would not expect to see a lot of people getting aces on this hole. I'm sure there will be a few here and there, but this is definitely not one of the ace-friendly par 3s in my opinion. At least not in the rookie. So we're going to move on to the next hole. Hole 2. And par 4. This hole right here is can be tricky. You're either going to be putting your ball in this zone right here or this zone right here. If you're going to go to that right side, you're going to take your drive basically right in here, bounce it in this zone, and then take it over there. If you're going to go to the far left circle, you're going to bounce it in here and take it over to there. Taking that more leftwardly drive, I would suggest at least 3 bars of top spin, 3 bars of left spin, and a little bit of left curl. You don't want to put too much top spin because you don't want to end up in this rough or that bunker right there. So not enough top spin where you roll there, but enough where you roll deep enough into that fairway to give you a second shot at the green. If you do play the shorter shot to the right, you will leave yourself a fairly tough wood shot, and I would definitely suggest bringing your big dog if you do decide to make that shot. There is also another shot here that is available with the quarterback, or something like that. You could bring it out here, bounce it there, and roll it up. Definitely a shot you'd have to work on some. It's figuring out that curl and initial spot to line that shot up at. So from your spot right here, you're definitely going to need a wood club like the big dog, because that's a fairly long shot. If you can get up to here, that second shot right there, I would suggest skipping it right in here, and you want to skip it up onto that little ridge area right there. I would suggest about midway up with 1 bar of top spin. and then you can adjust your side spin however you like to line yourself up with the hole. That side spin will depend on the angle at which you are taking that shot to the green. Just keep in mind that if you don't use topspin and you use backspin, you might risk not making it onto the green. That front slope in the front of the green is a pretty decent slope, and if you don't make it, your ball will roll back and probably down into the rough below that, and that will be a very difficult shot on green to get the birdie. You might be sitting at a par. It will not surprise me to see a lot of pars on this hole during the tournament. You could use your extra mile off this tee box, or even maybe a level 1 or level 2 Thor as well. But if you do really want to use your quarterback and you are worried about your accuracy, it definitely is a possibility. You might have to overpower it a little bit, but always remember, when you're overpowering a quarterback, you do have a little bit of room for error, and you will still be okay, even if you have a great shot, as long as you line it up properly to give yourself room for that error. Okay, so moving on, we got hole number 3, and hole number 3 is a par 5. Now on this hole, in the rookie and the pro, pretty much your shot is going to be right there. That's what you're trying to do. Get it into that area of the fairway without going too far, because you don't want to go into the rough or the bunker right there. If you go into the rough or the bunker right there, you're really going to be in trouble on this hole. Definitely don't do it. You can use your extra mile. You might want to use some backspin, especially if you have a tailwind. Definitely use some backspin with tailwind. If you're really worried about that shot with the extra mile, you could use your quarterback or even a rock probably. With the ball guide and the accuracy, you should be pretty good to use that club. For your wood, I would suggest either a big dog or a Viper for the second shot, and Quasar or Titan ball would be my suggestion for the balls. And then for your third shot, Backbone or Saturn. I like the Saturn because I like the extra backspin that offers. Some people like the Backbone because it does offer a little bit more accuracy. To me, the Saturn usually hovers around a 50 accuracy, so that makes it really easy to line up your shot with the wind guide. So it is possible, I'm just going to say this, most people that here are watching this video are not going to be able to do this, but it is possible to get to this second fairway. You have to have a really good driver, high level driver, and really good ball, like Zerker or Snow Globe ball. So it is possible. I don't know that we'll have the wins in the pro to be able to do it, but definitely in the expert, I do foresee some people taking that shot up there. And what they will do is they will bounce it right here with a lot of top spin, and that's how they're going to make that shot. Alright, so from this spot right here, we'll be making our second shot. You can either, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So from this spot right here, using your big dog or your Viper, if you have a lower level club, you can either jump it from here over there, bounce and roll to that zone, or you can try to land it up in here and roll it up into this zone. Now, probably you have not had the chance to do that on Tour 6, because a lot of the times when I played them, at least, I got really bad winds, like headwinds and things. I'm going to assume in the tournament we're going to have a tailwind. So with a tailwind, you do want to make sure you do not put too much topspin, because I guarantee you, if you do, you will be flirting with that bunker and rough. So with a big dog or a Viper, you probably will be landing your shot more in this zone right here, and landing it and rolling it up to this area right here. So be very careful and mindful of that shot and the amount of topspin you do use, because if you go into the bunker, you're still going to get to the green, but you really do ruin your chances at an eagle attempt for that shot. Also, one thing to remember, making your third shot to the green, it does have a fairly decent slope on the back edge of the green, all the way around that back of the green. Slopes back down to the hole. So if you do play a shot into the green a little bit hot, if you have a little bit of backspin, it should catch and roll back down to the hole. I like to aim my third shot in this zone right here with a lot of backspin, depending on whether or not, you know, if you can get into this zone right here, you're going to have more of a straight-on shot to the green. But if you're over in this zone right here, you're going to have to take more of a shot like this, land it right here, and you use that slope to come back down to the hole. So it's kind of one of those, you know, risky shots. You know, do I go for it or do I lay up? If you lay up, you still have a chance at the eagle. If you go for it and you can get into this zone, your chances at the eagle really increase. Alright, moving on to the next hole. Hole number 4. And par 3. Now this is a fun par 3. I really like this par 3. In the Christmas tournament, I had a lot of luck with this par 3 and aced it about 3 different times during the week. There are a few different ways you can take this shot. My personal favorite is the shot from right there, but you can also take the shot from right there as well. If you take the shot up there towards the green, I think on the rookie, you still be using your long iron. I, for one, like to use my Saturn for this shot, but you could also use the backbone as well. There's a slight possibility you might have to use your wood that close range shot, but I don't think your wood comes into play until your pro, until the pro series. But I could be wrong, and I would suggest a ball with some wind resistance. So Quasar, Kingmaker if you want to use one, Katana ball, but probably or a Navigator. A Navigator will probably be okay for this hole, and I would probably look more at the shot up here towards the hole if you have like a straight side wind on this hole. I'm going to guess we're going to have some sort of a tailwind, so the shot back here is probably going to be your shot to use. My suggestion for that shot is 1 top spin and 2 right spin. Now you might say, right spin? What are you talking about? The angle of the hop is going to push your ball left, so you're going to use your right spin to kind of counteract that that momentum to the left. So what you're going to do is, when you set up your shot right in here, you put your spin on the ball, and then you're going to move your shot, you know, left and right in that little that little nook and cranny of that that fairway spot to where you find a spot where the ball guide is aimed pretty much right at the edge of the hole. And the reason you do want the top spin is because from that line down is downhill. So if you do end up short on that green, your ball will roll down the green and leave you a pretty tough putt for the birdie. So you do want to make sure you do go up onto that upper ridge of the green. The top ridge is where you want to be. If you go by the hole a little bit, that's okay. If you stay on the green, your ball will roll back a little bit towards the hole. But if you do go too far, you're just going to be sitting on the edge of the fringe for like a 3-yard chip. Really easy stuff right there. But that's definitely, in my opinion, 1 top spin, 2 right spin. That's the secret ingredient to an ace on this hole. I've used it in the past, and I'm going to use it this tournament. And now we're going to go watch a video of my last tournament using that method. Okay, and I don't think I have anything else to say on that hole. So we're going to go watch the video real quick. So you're going to see me with the Saturn here. And I'm going to aim, I'm going to put the spin on it. You see I have a right to left tailwind here, 3.6 miles per hour. And we're going to put the spin on it. We're using Quasar ball here, 1 top and 2 right spin. And now you're going to see me move my ball, my target, until I get a fairly decent ball guide going towards the hole. And I just basically about 1.5 bars right there for the wind, and I hit it perfect. And you're going to see this ball, it gets that really nice roll on the green, that really nice roll you want to see when you get the ace right there. And if I had missed the hole right there and not made a hole in one, I would have ended up You know, I ended up just back on the actual fringe probably, or maybe even stopped short of the fringe and rolled a little bit back towards the hole. So, all right. Next hole, hole number 5. And this is a par 4. Definitely an eagle chance right here for this hole. 2 different plays you can play it. You can play it off this little slot right there, or you can play it from this spot right there. Both ways will work. I think the right way is a little bit safer than the left way, but the left route will get you closer to the hole for that chip, maybe even within a short iron distance compared to the right way, which would be looking at a long iron chip. You can use your quarterback on this hole. I would suggest at least level 5 and up. If not that, extra mile or even your Thor would work on this hole because of its top spin. I would suggest a Saturn or a Backbone for your long irons. And I would like a Powerball on this hole. So you're looking at a Navigator, a Quasar, or if you can spare it, maybe on a weekend round or opening round, you know, advance that up to the Titan ball. So what you're going to do is on your shot from the tee box, going to the right side, you're going to do full top spin, and you don't really need to do much right spin. Do a little bit of left spin, just a couple, 2 or 3 bars of left spin, because you do want to make sure you do watch out for this tree. You do not want to take the path of your ball into that tree for sure. So be kind of be aware when you're setting that shot up and putting on the spin on it. And you want to make sure you adjust for the wind, and the rookie, it shouldn't be that high of a wind level, and it's probably going to be a tailwind, so that should be a fairly easy adjustment for you. If you do want to go to this left side, going to the left side, I would use a ball with a little bit more spin on it, so at least a Quasar. Full top spin, full right spin. And I would use about a half a ball of curl, because what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to hit this shot and curl it around that tree, bounce here, and roll up into this zone right here. This shot right here is going to roll into that zone. So if you get the left shot down, you can get a lot closer to the hole, and then you will have that nice straight on shot to the green from there. So what we're going to do now is I want to zoom in a little bit on this green. Okay. So we could either be seeing here or there. So coming from this way right here, I like to land my ball right in there. I like to line right along the edge of that fringe of the right hand side of the green, but I do want to land my shot on the green. You get a better bounce on the green. I like 2 to 3 bars of backspin, and then aim the edge of the ball guide about 1.5 to 2 boxes in front of the hole, and then let it roll in the hole. If you're playing from the closer spot, same thing. You're going to play your shot right to about there, and probably with a short iron. So you might have to aim it a little bit closer to the green, but you might not. It's just going to be one of those things you have to figure out once you get to that shot. 2 to 3 bars backspin, or if you want to try for the 4 to 5 bars of backspin, as the James would call it, the squishy shot, definitely a possibility. If you go watch my video, I use the squishy shot and execute it. So go watch the video of my hole 5 and see how I play that second shot from right up in here. Okay? So we're going to move on now to hole number 6. And this is a par 5. Now we're starting to get into some of these tougher holes. Definitely a tougher hole. I would say extra mile Thor. You can get away with using the quarterback on this hole, but this hole right here would be kind of iffy. Using the quarterback, you will definitely make it tougher on yourself if you use the quarterback, because you do need some distance off of the drive. Unfortunately for us in Tour 6, the wins that I've been getting have not been very productive, like good wins to really practice for the tournament, because we're probably going to have a tailwind on this hole. So from the tee box, you know, you have the option of landing here and bouncing over here. You can try to land it here, curl it over here. You can try to land it here and stop it up in here. Okay. But the shot that I think that everybody needs to be trying to hit is landing it right here and rolling it over that cliff down to this zone right there. If you get over the cliff with a little bit of speed, you're going to hit that rough and roll onto the fairway. It happens. And from that spot right there, you have lots of different ways to get to the hole fairly easily. Okay. If you don't get to that spot, if you don't get to this spot right here, from up here, you have a fairly difficult shot to try to skip it up that way. Or if you're in this zone right here, you're looking at a shot here, and you're going to have to try to skip it over these rocks and roll it to the edge of the green right there. The only place that you can get to the green easily is from this right here in the rookie. And you're probably going to need a Viper or a big dog to do that. Don't come in there with your little sniper and think you're going to make it to the green easily. Because if you don't hit your drive perfectly, you're really going to be in trouble. Definitely a power ball hole. This is definitely a hole to try to use one of them Titan balls on. If you don't have a Titan, probably the Quasar at least. Because you don't want to use a navigator because that will cut your wind down, and you want to use the wind to your advantage on the second shot. So big dog, possibly a Guardian depending on the level you have. You need at least a 170 and up yard wood. That's my opinion. Another possible shot on this hole that you could possibly do would be a rough bump. Try to land it right here with full topspin and roll it out there. That's going to leave you a fairly long wood shot with your big dog to the hole still, which is going to require a lot of topspin and some left spin and left curl. Once again, jump, skip, roll. But definitely a possibility. I do want to say one thing. Your shots from right here going to the green, it is an uphill slope on the green, so make sure you add a little bit of topspin to your short iron from there. Because if you don't add topspin and you just place the tip of the guide going into the hole or just barely past it, your ball is probably going to land and end up short of the hole. Okay, so make sure you do add a little bit of extra topspin to that shot to make sure you do get that ball in the hole on the chip. Alright, and can't think of anything else on that hole. It's just one of those holes you really got to get out there and practice it. Lots of different ways you can play it. In my opinion, the best way to play it though is still, taking your drive up here, landing it there, rolling it over the edge of that cliff, down there to that fairway area. From there, you have a very easy shot to the green. You can kind of skip it over that bunker, or you can go over there. Alright, hole number 7. Alright, come on now. Hole 7. Looks difficult, but this is actually a fairly easy hole. You have two options. You can land it up here or over here. If you go up there, you're going to land it right there and roll it up there. Maybe you need to use a little bit of backspin to stop it. I would not attempt to run it over this cliff and try to roll it down to the fairway because there is sand right there, and that will probably stop your ball from getting to the fairway. The best route that I would suggest taking is bouncing it here, over here, and ending up in there. And you're going to do that shot right there by doing full topspin, 2 or 3 bars of left spin, and a small amount of left curl. You do want to make sure you do not land your shot too far up to the edge of that rough right there, because it is kind of a sloped downhill, and it will cause your ball to flatten out on the hop and probably hit the rough. You may or may not make it out onto the fairway over here, but if you do, it won't be by much. So you do want to land it a little bit off the edge of the the edge of the fairway. All right. So if you're going to play your second shot from right here, You're probably gonna want a big dog here, and you want to be landing it right in here with at least 2 bars of backspin and some right curl, and you're just gonna have to judge on how much right spin you do want on that shot. You know, when you get to that shot, you wanna judge your right spin and add a little bit as you need it to try to line that that line of the ball guide up with the hole. Okay. From over here, you have a much easier shot at the hole. You will be able to land it right here, and you can use your guardian on this hole, or if you have a little bit higher of a level sniper, you could probably use that as well, and really zone in on that shot and maybe get the eagle. Okay. If not, there is the back part of this green does semi-slope back to the hole, so you can go a little bit past the hole and still be okay, but the whole green does kind of slope that way. Okay. If worse comes to worse, chip your shot. You know, if you go into the rough anywhere in here, come on now, if you go into the rough anywhere in here, chip your shot right there and give yourself a very clean look at the hole for a chance at a birdie save. That's going to be your best chance. Don't try to do anything crazy and run it up into this zone right here, because you don't want to go into those rocks or the rough. So just play it safe, chip it there, take the chance, give yourself a clean look at the hole. Alright. Hole number 8. Par 3. A couple ways to play this hole. I like to play it with the Saturn. You can play it with you can pretty much play with any club you want. I like to play it with the Saturn because I play my shot off the front of the green right here with a ton of backspin and a lot of left spin. Do make sure you do add a little bit extra for this shot because it is downhill. So you need to add about 10%, 10 to 20%. What you're trying to do is trying to hop it right here, up this hill, and back down to the hole. Definitely doable. Aced it last tournament. We're going to watch a video of that in just a minute. If you don't have a club with a lot of backspin, you can make your shot with the jump off the edge of this very steep slope. Okay, and when you're taking that shot, you're not going to use any spin. You're just going to let the hill, the slope of the hill, and the lowness of the green right here bounce from here onto the green. You're just going to roll up that hill and back down towards the hole. That's how you're going to take that shot, and that will be a shot to use for people with lower clubs with low amounts of backspin that can't quite pull off that other shot that I talked about. Definitely a wind resistance ball right here. Quasar, Katana, Kingmaker if you got it. Maybe use that Kingmaker in the weekend round, or even maybe a special ball with a really large amount of spin and wind resist. Alright, so now we're going to go watch that hole real quick. And you're going to see me play the shot off the edge, front edge of the green. Okay, so we do have a 3.4 wind, so that's about 1.5 bars, 2 bars of adjustment with the extra adjustment. Full back, full left, and you see me aiming my shot right there. I've got the edge of that orange right there at the edge of that fringe, pretty much. So we're going to see where my ball lands right here, and it's going to be fairly close down near the bottom of the green. See how? And I'm going to get that left spin and back spin right into the hole for the ace. And that's really how you play this hole. You can play this hole and get the ace a little bit farther up the hill than I played it, or you can get it that way. So we got one more hole here. This is the last hole, hole number 9. And this is the tough hole. Hole's going to get a lot of people. You can play 2 ways. You can play your shot up here. If you do go that way, you do want to use a small amount of left spin and a small amount of left curl. You do want to make sure you stay on the fairway and get as far up into that little area as possible. The farther you get up into that little nook, the better and easier second shot you do have, and the better chance you have for the eagle on this hole. The shot that I like is the shot that gives you a chance at the albatross, which is the shot right here. Okay. In order to pull that shot off, you're going to be aiming for the first circle, and you can be using a quarterback, extra mile, or Thor. All those will get this shot done. The quarterback, I would definitely suggest practicing it with it. You may have to adjust your shot a little bit more with that, and land it maybe more over in this zone with here, with curl, to shoot it off that way. But with the extra mile or the Thor, that first circle is where you're going to aim it for. I like 2 to 3 bars of topspin for this shot. I like half to full right spin and a small amount of curl if you do feel like you need it. If you're going to use a lot of side spin, you probably don't use as much curl, but if you're going to use a ball with not as much side spin, then you might need to add a little bit extra curl. For your second shot, you do want to have your either your big dog or your guardian, a little bit higher level guardian, a little bit higher level sniper, or your viper. So most people in rookie, I would suggest big dog or your viper. And if you can go to this right side, you're going to be aiming for this little, kind of this little island in the rough right there. That's what you're going to be aiming for. On the second shot, you do want to use some backspin. All you want to do is, we're going to zoom this in. Okay. So from this shot right here, you're coming in, you're going to hit this island. I like to aim in the middle. You want your ball to land on that fairway, okay? About midway in between the fringe and the rough on that fairway. And what that's going to do is going to help deaden your ball and give you a really good chance to roll into the hole for the albatross. Alright? I like 2 bars of backspin, 1 to 2 bars. You kind of have to judge it depending on where you are on the shot, okay? And what club you use. Different clubs will play differently on that shot. So we're going to back this out now, and we're going to talk about the other shot here. If you are over here, your options are going to be to run your shot over here, right along the edge of that rough, or try to jump it from here over, hit the fairway, and roll to the green. This green does slope back down to the hole, so if you go a little bit past the hole, you do roll back down to the hole. Or from here, you could try the shot onto that little island. If you have probably a big dog, I would say you would have to use for that shot, and you will need to use 3 bars of backspin and left spin as well, and then also probably a little bit of curl, and that's something you're going to have to judge when you get to that spot as well, because that shot will will change depending on the angle that you're taking the shot from. Definitely a Powerball hole, Quasar, because you definitely want spin, or a Titan ball. If you have a Titan ball, use a Titan ball. I would not suggest using the Kingmaker, because you do want all the help you can get from the wind. You do not want to cut down on the wind with that wind resistance. So anyways, that's going to be the tutorial today. Hopefully y'all learned something, and if you do have any questions, make sure to join us on the 19th hole. You can find me there, and you can find the rest of the community willing to help you out. If you do want to contact me on Facebook, you can search for me with this name right here. Add me as a friend, send me a message on Messenger. If I don't get back to you right away, I will, and I will help you as good as I can. Definitely am here to help you, and hopefully help you improve your game in the tournament. So hopefully this has helped you all out. If you do find that you enjoyed this tutorial, I do come out with one of these every tournament, and if you subscribe to my channel, then you can be notified when I release tutorials. I release specific hole guides, and also when I do stream live for rookie and pro qualifying, opening rounds, and weekend rounds. So definitely hit that sub button if you do want to be notified on that stuff. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up for me. If you you found something that you didn't like about the video, either message me on Facebook, or you can leave it in the comments. As long as it's constructive criticism, I'm okay with it, because I am here to try to help. So if there's something you feel I can improve to help someone in the rookie or in the pro, definitely leave that comment for me. So until next time, happy golfing and God bless.